Worksheet day 32 in business math. Now going into the section on business finance, how to read, analyze, and interpret financial reports. And if you took accounting, you've probably seen some of these financial reports already. This one here says complete the balance sheet for the Total Quality Manufacturing. Total Quality Manufacturing balance sheet, December 31st, 2013. We have our assets, our liabilities, and then we're finding the stockholders' equity. And then down at the bottom we have the total of the liability and the stockholders' equity. So our assets, what do we have going for us? We have $82,000 in current assets. We have $192,000 in fixed assets like our land and our buildings and that kind of stuff. I want to find the total assets. So if I'm just going to find the total, I'm just going to add those two numbers together. So 82,000, 1, 2, 3, plus 192,000, 1, 2, 3, gives me 274,000 for my total assets. Then I have my liabilities. Where do I owe money at? I have my current liabilities and my long-term liabilities. So again, I'm just going to find the total of my liabilities. So I'm going to add those two things together. I have 54,800 plus another 54,800. And so my liabilities would be 109,600. So again, I just added those two values together. My stockholders' equity. I have some common stock which is worth 120,560. I have retained earnings of 43,840. So again, I'm finding the total of my stockholders' equity. So if I add those two numbers together, again, I'm going to find the total. So 120,560. Whoops, I got the wrong, better type that in again. 120,560 plus 43,840. If I add those together, I get 164,400. Now I want to find the total of the liabilities and the stockholders' equity. So my total liabilities was the 109,600. My total of my stockholders' equity was 164,400. So if I'm going to find the total of the liabilities and the stockholders' equity, again, I'm just going to add. I'm going to take that 109,600 plus my 164,400. And that's going to give me that number. When I take 109,600 plus 164,400, I get 274,000. Now notice that the total of your liabilities and stockholder equity should match up, since it's a balance sheet, with the total of your assets. Those two numbers should match. They don't, there's something wrong. That's how I'm going to fill out that balance sheet. So, going to the next one. Complete the balance sheet for Masters Antiques Incorporated. Again, I have my current assets and my fixed assets. I want to find the total of my assets, so I'm going to add those together. 116,000, 1, 2, 3, plus 167,000, 1, 2, 3, equals 283,000. Then I want to find out what my total liabilities are. So I have current liabilities of 59,430. I'm going to add my long-term liabilities of 42,450. So if I add those two things together, I get 101,880. Then it tells me I want to find the total of my stockholders' equity. So I have common stocks of 141,500 plus retained earnings of 39,620. And so I have a total stockholders' equity of 181,120. 181,120. Again, I want to find the total of the liabilities and the stockholders' equity. So my liabilities was $101,880. My stockholders' equity, $181,120. If I add those two things together, I end up with $283,000. And that should match up with my total assets, and it does, so my balance sheet balances out. Number 3, complete the balance sheet for Newton Creations. Again, we're going to start by finding the total assets. I have current assets of $84,000. I'm going to add my fixed assets of $205,000. And so the total of those two things, $289,000. Then I'm going to find the total of my liabilities. So I'm going to take my $52,020. I'm going to add my $43,350. And the total of my liabilities, $95,370. Then I'm going to find the total stockholders' equity. So I have common stock of $127,160 plus retained earnings of $66,470. So my stockholders' equity, $193,630. I'm then going to find, I added there and added there by the way, the total liabilities and stockholder equity. So my total liabilities, $95,370 plus my stockholders equity of $193,630 gives me that total. So if I add those, I get $289,000. You'll see that it matches up with my assets, so I have a balance on my balance sheet. Number 4, 5, and 6 are still doing balance sheets, but these ones are just a little bit different. So here I have my assets listed out in a different way. I have my cash, my accounts receivable, equipment that I own, my building, and my land. I want to find the total of my assets. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and add up all my assets. So $52,200 plus $34,800 plus $72,500 plus, what is that number there? It's hard to read. And look over here. $98,600 is what that says. $98,600 plus $371,200. So the total of all of my assets would be $629,300. $629,300 is what I get when I total up all my assets. Then I have my liabilities. My liabilities includes my accounts payable, salaries payable, and notes payable. And again, I want to find the total, so I'm just going to add those up. $14,500 plus $20,300 plus $34,800 gives me $69,600 for my liabilities. Then it tells me to find my owner's equity. How much money do I have? Well, I'm going to take my total assets and subtract off my liabilities. So I'm going to take the $629,300 and subtract the $69,600. So if I subtract, I get $559,700 for my owner's equity. $559,700. Then it tells me on the next one to find the total of my liabilities and my owner equity. So if I'm going to find the total, I'm just going to add those two things together. And when I add those two things together, because I got this from subtracting this, when I add this plus this, I better get that number up there on the top again. So again, if I take my $69,600 and I add my equity, $559,700, I get the $629,300. So that this number and this one will always match up with each other. Number 5 wants us to complete the balance sheet again. And so again, I'm just going to simply add up all my numbers there. My cash, my accounts receivable, equipment, building, and land. So $71,400 plus $54,600 plus $84,000 plus $168,000 plus $571,200. So the total of all my assets, $949,200. Just adding all of those together. Then I want to find the total of my liabilities, so I'm going to add my liabilities up. So $42,000 plus another $42,000 plus $46,200. So $130,200 is my liabilities. I'm then going to find the owner's equity by subtracting these two numbers. So I'm going to take the $949,200 and subtract the $130,200. And so $949,200 minus $130,200 gives me an owner's equity of $819,000. And then again for the last part, we're just finding the total of the liabilities and the owner's equity. So we're going to add those two numbers together. And so if I add my $819,000 plus my $130,200, I should end up with the number that's the same as the top number, and I do, $949,200. And number 6 says complete the balance sheet for Sheila Thompson Design Group. Again, I want my assets, my cash, my accounts receivable, my equipment, my building, and my land. I want to find the total assets, so I'm going to add those together. So $57,000 plus $36,000 plus $60,000 plus $102,000 plus $381,000. And I get $636,000 for my total assets. $636,000. Then I have my liabilities, my accounts payable, salaries payable, and notes payable. I want to find the total of my liabilities. So again, I'm going to add those together. $24,000 plus $18,000 plus $39,000. And I get $81,000. I then want to find my owner's equity. To find my owner's equity, I'm going to take my assets, $636,000, and subtract off my liabilities. So if I take my $636,000 and I subtract off my $81,000, I get $555,000. So my owner's equity, $555,000. And then again, the last part, doing the total of the liabilities and the owner's equity, we're going to add those two things together. And if we add those two things together, we better get that same top number, $636,000. So again, just double checking, $555,000 plus $81,000. Sure enough, $636,000. And because there's a lot of tables and charts, they wouldn't let me put too many topics on a paper, so that's only 2 topics on this first sheet. doing a couple different kinds of balance sheets. So worksheet day 32, again, is in that last section of your pie chart called Business Finance, under the heading How to Read, Analyze, and Interpret Financial Reports.